Welcome to Morning Joe and the Pro. I'm sitting in for the Prez. I'm Marco D'Angelo and joined today by my good buddy, Ralph Michaels. Ralph, I got a question for you. It's Morning Joe and the Pro. Who's the Joe and who's the Pro between me and you?
Well, since you're the one doing the recording, you get the option. You and Prez are more alike to me, so I'll give you the top seed.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. After yesterday, buddy, we're going to open the show up. No, full disclosure, we weren't Joes. We weren't pros. You and I were schmoes yesterday. We both lost a 5% play yesterday, and why in the world would I open a podcast talking about a loser? But, Ralph, that's the way we do things at WagerTalk. We don't hide losses under the rug. For yesterday, a one-day sample size, it was ugly for you and me. We lost 5% plays. I went 0-2 for the day. So, very disappointing. And if you base it on one day, well, I sucked. Let's say it. But the beauty of this, and it's much like if you ever hear an interview with poker players, professional poker players, they tell you it's a series of days. You don't look at a session. One session is a losing session. You don't dwell on it. You look at the big picture and what you're doing, and that's exactly what you and I have been doing all season. Big picture, we're both winning in basketball. You've been on a big run lately. I've been on a run for 2 months with the basketball, and those two losses yesterday put us at 50-30. And what were you on a run going into yesterday? It was insane.
7 straight winning days, 17-5. But let me also tell you this, something that, my All Access customers get that others don't know about. I mean, an example yesterday, I went 1-2 on the day. Both of my losses were by 2 points. That's a tough way to go 1-2. But I also had 2 almost best bets, which my All Access customers got. Both of those won. An example for today, I have 8 plays that were almost plays that my customers get besides my 5% plays that were actual plays today. So you're getting a lot of value with All Access package besides just the plays you see when you get my package. I'm a high volume kind of guy. I like to share those games that just missed being out plays as well. Tournament, there's a lot of value. NIT coming up, there's going to be incredible value. So, the record is one thing, but, using myself as an example, you're going to get a lot more value just besides those plays with an all-access package.
Well, that's a great segue, Ralph, because we're going to go ahead and talk about an all-access package for you and I, and a great deal. We're going to give you a deal for a 7-day package, and that's the way to go. All access, get you everything. And during the tournaments, Ralph, a lot of times we're working throughout the day, and I might add games to my card all day long. Obviously, I'll have plays up at WagerTalk for sale, but a lot of times I might add one late that, it's too late to put up to sell to, worth, but my regular clients are going to get it. And when you're an all access customer, you will get that. A 7-day package is $119. That in itself is a great value. Because think about it, Ralph. Every day you're going to have a play during the tournaments. I'm going to have at least a play. And if we sold those plays, it's $25 for one play when we have a 4% play. 7 days, that's $175. So that in itself is a value at $119. But I'm going to give the listeners a coupon today, SAVE 50. It's very simple. Just type in coupon code, the word SAVE, and the number 50. At checkout, you're going to get $50 off of a 7-day package from either you or me. You know why? Because we're the two on this podcast today doing Morning Joe and the Pro. So if you want to save $50 on Ralph or myself, just use coupon code SAVE50. Ralph, let's get into some college basketball. It's tournament time, conference tournaments, all-day action today. And, it's a challenging week, but it finds value. You looked this morning. I know you were up at the crack of dawn this morning. I was working the wee hours of the night last night. We usually have different schedules, and we kind of sometimes pass two shifts in the night. I'm going to bed, you're getting up. But this is a spot where the games from yesterday, you don't know who's playing today until they complete yesterday's games. Then you got to do all those adjustments for what you saw yesterday. Do you got any games that you want to share with our viewers for tonight?
You know, I got two. I have one college basketball side and one college basketball total. And the first is one of those extra values that I gave my All Access customers that I'll share here on this podcast. Hopefully it has success today to not make me look stupid. But the Atlantic 10 tournament this year is in the Barclays Center. That is the third straight season they've been in a different venue. I happen to do a few radios in New York City over the last few days, and multiple people have told me how bad the lighting is in the Barclays Center. They complain about it in hockey, they complain about it in the NBA, and now you have these young kids playing in an NBA arena for the first time. The sight lines are different, the backdrops are different. You have this unique lighting. And what do you get? You have teams that struggle, and teams often struggle playing in these big venues. Yesterday, for example, the four teams that played, UMass shot 28.6%, George Washington shot 23.5%, Fordham shot 33%, Richmond shot 31.9%. One of the bonuses I told my customers today is I am betting all four of those Atlantic 10 games under the total. Now, I told them I'm playing them for 1.5 units, 1.5%, so like half of a 3% play. So it's not an actual play, but an extra bonus. But one of those plays was very close to being a top play for me, and that is St. Louis and Richmond under the total. And it's a game that, you know, both teams have very slow tempos. You add the shooting percentages on top of them. It's game 695 and 696. It tips at 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight, and that's Richmond and St. Louis under 136. That's on the NBC Sports Network.
All right, Ralph, I'm going to go to a game right here in Las Vegas. It is the Mountain West Conference, and it will be played at the Thomas and Mack Center here in Vegas. And, of course, that is UNLV's home floor. And we are going to look at that UNLV game, but I'm not going to ride the UNLV Running Rebels on their home floor here in the tournament. I know a lot of people are going to do that, Ralph, and they have covered 3 in a row, UNLV. They've won 2 in a row. They've won 5 of their last 7 games. But, you know, we do the radio show here in Las Vegas. You're on it. I'm on it. Dave Koken and that. Teddy covers as well. Las Vegas Sports Line from 2 to 3 in Vegas on ESPN Las Vegas here. And we talk about UNLV all the time. And I have pointed out the fact that UNLV is 11-7 in the Mountain West Conference. So when you look at an 11-7 record, you say, hey, that's a winning record. You know, they finished in 5th place in the Mountain West Conference. But if you dig deeper into the UNLV, it's a tale of 2 different stories. They're 11-1 straight up against the bottom 6 teams in the conference. Against the top 4 teams in the conference, Ralph, they're 0-6. Well, where's San Diego State? They're one of those top 4 teams in the conference, and they lost to San Diego State this season. Lost to them twice, in fact, 94-77 at San Diego State. And then in February, they lost to San Diego State, 60-59. The San Diego State team, we know from the old days, I still, you know, picture Fisher there and everything, and they were strong defensive teams. That was not the type of team that they were at the beginning of the season, but this team played much better the second half of the season, did San Diego State, and I like them going into the Thomas and Mack today to beat UNLV. We have seen some line movement in this game. Money going to the San Diego State side, and considering this is the home floor of UNLV, that's pretty significant to see the money coming the other way, and I agree with it 100%. San Diego State is the side here. I'm going to go ahead and give them minus the short number to get the job done at the Thomas and Mack.
Marco, one addition to that play when I was on a show here in Vegas yesterday is we brought up that San Diego State has been to the finals 8 of the last 10 years. This team is used to getting there. This tournament is always in UNLV. They have very good feelings coming here and knowing that they can challenge. So that's an important factor when you get into these settings that, yes, UNLV has the home court edge, but San Diego State has by far more success than the Rebels have had in this tournament.
Yeah, and another thing to point out, Ralph, the time of this game. And it's one of the reasons why our radio show is getting preempted today, because our station, our flagship station, ESPN here in Las Vegas, carries the Running Rebels. Well, the Rebels are playing during our time slot. You know when that time slot is? When everybody's at work today. There's not going to be any UNLV fans at the Thomas and Mack. Very
it's amazing to me because everyone else, when they play at home, is playing a 7 o'clock game,
yeah,
including Memphis. They're hosting the CUSA tournament today. Very, very strange that the Mountain West did that. They normally want the people there. They want to sell those tickets. So I agree with you. A bizarre time for a host team or a home team that is hosting the tournament.
So there you have it. You've got the free play. Ralph, give us your free play again.
Well, you know, I'm going to give you one more as well.
Oh, it's bonus time.
St. Louis and Richmond under the total. I'm going to give you a Las Vegas play tonight as well. And this is actually one of my plays today at WagerTalk. It's an actual 3% play. So not only a free play, but an actual play, and it's on Oregon. You know, a lot of times people say, oh, the team played yesterday and now they got to play again. That's an advantage to the team that's rested. Well, when you have a superior defensive team, I don't feel that way at all. Oregon completely shut down Washington State. Oregon is an elite defensive team that has allowed only 35% shooting their last 5 games. Utah is an offensive-based team that would rather have some repetitions under their belt to get their offense flowing. Now you have a bunch of cold shooters playing in this venue for the first time this season against a hungry team that is a far better team that has a game under their belt. I like Oregon. It's surprising Oregon's the favorite. They're laying 4, but I think it's well worth it. And again, one of my actual plays for today.
Good stuff from Ralph. You've got his 2 plays, St. Louis, Richmond under the total, and he's going with Oregon. You've got my play, San Diego State. You also have that coupon code, guys, Save 50. You can get Ralph for 7 days. You could get myself for 7 days. Either one of us, instead of paying $119, which is a savings in itself, you can get it for just $69 when you use coupon code SAVE50. Ralph, I appreciate you jumping on board today. This is my maiden voyage here on running the ship here for the Prez on Morning Joe and the Pro. Try not to do too good of a job because you know the Prez. Then he'll say, hey, you know what? You guys can just do it all the time. You know how the Prez works.
Well, let's see. The Prez in front of a camera and talking, it's going to be tough to take that away from him because he enjoys just putting us to sleep with his damn stories. So at least you kept it succinct and to the point today.
No problem. Yeah, I didn't have any rock and roll music. You know, I didn't bring Lori in to do anything, you know, like Prez does on some of his with his girlfriend. We kept it clean today. Hopefully we got some winners, guys. Thanks for tuning in to the Thursday edition of Morning Joe and the Pro. He's Ralph Michaels. You can follow him on Twitter at KelSportsLV. I'm Marco D'Angelo. You can follow me on Twitter at Marco in Vegas, or just follow the trail of chicken wings. You'll usually find me. I'll be at the end of that, the bones of the chicken wings here in Las Vegas watching games today. Ralph, thanks. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to try to get our other buddy in here, Brian Leonard, on the show tomorrow. Tune in. We'll have it for you here at WagerTalk TV.